Buying a house here in the Bay Area can be tricky, and in this video, I hope to share with you enough information to where I can make your life just a little bit easier. In my 8 years of selling homes, I've come across a variety of different situations. I've seen every single type of market. I've worked with almost every single type of home buyer. And so I understand the ins and outs of what it takes to successfully position yourself to buy a home, and then ultimately what it takes to win when you're in a situation that you find the home of your dreams. All right, so let's break it down. The home buying process, although very complex in a lot of ways, can be thought of in just 3 very simple parts. The first part is everything that happens before escrow, or the contract phase of the home that you buy. The second part is everything that happens during the contract phase, or escrow, of your home buying process. And then finally, the third part is closing. So we really need 2 videos, one to cover part 1A and one to cover part 1B. And so today we're going to cover part 1A of the pre-contract phase of buying a home. So let's dive right into it. First things first, before doing anything else, one of the biggest challenges with home buyers in especially the San Francisco Bay Area is determining where you want to live. And that is actually the first part of the entire home buying process, is establishing where you want to live. And in my experience, this can be very difficult because a lot of people come to the Bay Area either as transplants, you're from another part of the country or the world, or you've come to the Bay Area previously as a student and you got stuck here. Well, not stuck here, but you decided to stay here because you got employed by somebody, and you've only known 2 areas. Number one, the area where you went to school, which is probably either Cal Berkeley, Stanford, or San Jose State. So you only know like the little areas around those, or I mean, there's a lot of other smaller colleges, but those are the big 3. And so you only know those areas, that area, and perhaps the area that you moved to right after college. And so, and maybe you moved to another apartment complex or another apartment complex, but I know how it is to live in Silicon Valley. You are so glued to your work that you only know like your apartment complex, like the route to work, and maybe like the 5 like closest restaurants to your apartment complex. So it's very easy to spend 5 to 10 years here and literally know like only maybe like a couple acres of the entire Silicon Valley. So it's very common for home buyers to come to us completely unaware of all of the areas that are available for them to buy in. And the truth is that is like 10 videos combined into one, just trying to figure out where you want to live and which areas are right for you. Because truthfully, there are so many factors involved. Like, do you have kids? Do you not have kids? Do you like outdoorsy stuff? Do you like more urban feel? Like, there's so many different factors that come into play, not to mention where do you work? So you can go ahead and check out our playlist here on YouTube. There's a ton of different videos on different communities and areas here in the Bay Area. Or for a comprehensive area guide, you can text the word area to the number down below, and we'll send you our comprehensive guide to some of the best neighborhoods here in Silicon Valley and in the greater Bay Area. Now, because a lot of Bay Area homebuyers are completely unaware of where they want to live, they actually spend a lot of time in this purgatory phase of their home search where they're going to open houses every single weekend in different parts of the Bay Area, and they're kind of exploring the neighborhoods and kind of getting used to them and familiar with them. And what we found is when we find buyers early enough on in their process, we can actually go on what we call internally here at Selling Silicon Valley, the grand tour, which is after we've sat down and gone over your wants and needs and really clarified exactly what you want in your home and figure out what it is that you and your family want, then we have all of the knowledge that we need to basically figure out which areas we, the experts, can think of would work best for you. And sometimes we take our clients out to areas that they didn't even know existed. And we're like, well, you know, you're a younger tech family, and these different areas would be great for you because you just told me that you like kind of like urban outdoor settings. Like, this place has a nice little quaint little downtown. Did you know that this place existed? And they'll be like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So these are things that you may not know. And so if we find a buyer early on enough in the process, we can take them on this grand tour, and in literally a matter of days, like one weekend, shortcut maybe 6 to 12 months of of looking and agony and just like not finding the right fit in one weekend can take you out to 6 to 8 different locations, different neighborhoods, some of which you didn't even know existed. And then at that point, really just like narrow and focus the home search, because really what I know is that most buyers buy area before they buy the house. You got to love where you live. And that starts with the area that you live in, because you can always change the interior of the home, but you can't really change the location. And so that's really the whole purpose of that grand tour. And it's in this discovery period of your home search where you're trying to identify the 2 to 3 areas that are best for you and for your family that I usually suggest buyers meet with an agent. And this is not like self-serving at all. You can work with whoever you want. But at this point, this is when you want to meet with an agent, because the biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistakes I see home buyers make is they wait too long to identify an agent. And in that process, because they wait too long, they don't give themselves enough time to really build or identify whether or not they can trust the agent that they're working with. And trust is one of the biggest factors in actually getting your home offer accepted. You honestly have to trust the advisor that you pick, because in this incredibly intense Silicon Valley marketplace, when you hear it's going to take $250,000 over asking price to win the house that you want, it's really hard sometimes for us as human beings to trust that the advice that we're getting is true. And so you need enough time to build a relationship with the agent that you're working with to truly understand A, whether or not they're good at their job, and B, whether or not you actually trust them to do the right thing for you and for your family. So I would start interviewing agents at that point and really getting to know different people that could help you in your home search, because you're going to find one, you're going to pick one, and it's better to pick one at the beginning that you can build a long-term and a long-standing relationship with that's really going to benefit you in the long run. 2 things that I would highly encourage you look for in the agent that you work with is, number 1, do they approach you and their job and their work with you as a consultative approach? Do they have a consultative approach, or are they just there to sell you a house? Meaning, are they coming to you with information, educational material? Are they continually educating you throughout the process? Because those are really the agents that care, the ones that educate their clients. The ones that just show houses, I wouldn't really focus my time on those agents. I'd really focus my time and work with somebody that has a consultative, educational approach to the way that they handle their clients. And the second thing I would look for in an agent that you work with is somebody that has a defined strategy to how they're going to help you win in this market. The agents that flail, the ones that just kind of do it live, those are not the kinds of agents that win in a competitive market like Silicon Valley. Whatever their approach may be, as long as they communicate to you the approach that they're going to take and tell you, hey, so-and-so, this is the strategy that we have used to help our buyers win in this market. And it's the same one that we're going to help you use to win in this market. Because if they have a strategy, then you can decide at that point, you're like, okay, well, that sounds pretty good to me. Like, that sounds like the right strategy. Or you can at that point realize this person doesn't know what they're doing and move on. But if they have no strategy, then they're definitely somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, and you should probably move on. All right, great. So you have a list of wants and needs. You have your area that you're looking in, and you have your agent. Now what? Well, this is usually the time when I would recommend getting a pre-approval started. One of the biggest mistakes that I see home buyers make in Silicon Valley is they just say, I'm going to get a loan, and they don't think too much of who they get their loan from or who they work with. And that is the biggest mistake. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make as a home buyer in Silicon Valley is not be strategic with the loan officer that you work with. Here's a very little known fact. Who you work with on the loan matters almost just as much as who you work with as an agent. And a lot of buyers make the mistake of thinking all lenders are the same. That is not true. You see, there are lenders who have good reputations in this area, and there are lenders who have not so great reputations in this area. And you would be surprised to know that some of the biggest names in the lending industry have some of the worst reputations here in Silicon Valley. Why? They usually are late on deadlines every time because they're so overworked and have so much business that they almost never meet the deadlines. And so as listing agents, when we're helping our sellers and coaching our sellers, we're letting them know, hey, we have these 2 great offers, but one of them is with a bank that is habitually late and usually does not do a good job. And then this guy is pre-approved with actually a lender that I know and a lender that I've done business with before, and they're more local, but they actually get the job done. And so it is a very frequent and common mistake for home buyers to just go with the lender that gives them the best rate, which, by the way, we always want to make sure that we're getting the best price for your money. But that's why you get multiple quotes, so that you can figure out what the best price is and then negotiate with whoever you're working with. Because ultimately that is how you win double. You get the best rate and you get the best service. That is the win here in Silicon Valley, is when you can find that right lender that's going to help you win in this market. And how do they do that? Well, I'm going to leave that for the next video, because in the next video, I'm going to share how our team, our success formula, has helped over 70% of our home buyers in 2021, now leading into 2022, win on their very first offer. And it all has to do, or a big part of it has to do, with who we work with on the loan side. But I'm going to wait for the next video to share that with all of you. There's still so much more to cover in this home buying process, but I hope I just helped make your life a little bit easier with this video. If you're here at the very end and watch this whole video from start to finish, it would really help me out. It would really help this channel out if you could do 3 things. Hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and also hit the notification bell so that you can get notified every single time that we post a new video. We only post valuable content here. This is Danny Gould, everyone, with the Selling Silicon Valley Group, and I will catch you in the next video.